From the top of the town at 715 Main Street in historic Deadwood, it's time for another episode of the DTC Blow and Smoke Podcast. Hello and welcome to episode number 49 of the DTC Blow and Smoke Podcast. Very special episode. A little bit later, we'll have Mr. Tom Lazuka from Asylum in talking about the 867s and the big launch party we have coming up this Saturday. And of course, we've got St. Patrick's just around the corner. We've also got the Buffalo Chip Poster Model Preliminary Contest. We'll get some good-looking girls in here for a change instead of the sausage party. It's going to be a hell of a good time and a whole lot more coming up, including a live podcast. And in the first segment, just a few minutes away, is Mr. Sam Grow. Will be making his debut here at the Deadwood Tobacco Company venue at 715 Main Street this Saturday night as well. We'll get those details. But first, where we always start every podcast, what are we smoking? Stash, what you got?
Got the Zero going.
The Asylum 8670. Is that the Robusto size?
Yes.
All right. Well, what do you think? It's been a while since we've had those in the shop, and
tastes the same.
There you go. What are you washing it down with? Is that root beer? Or are you hitting the booze already?
No, I got some root beer. It's a little bit early for the later half, unless you don't want me to finish my shift.
Hey man, I'm coming in later tonight, so you're all good.
Yeah, okay.
Preacher, what do you got back there?
I'm smoking one of the Zeros. I think it's the Churchill.
Very good. A little bit of a brandy back on that, some fruitiness, sweet cap, pretty enjoyable smoke.
That's it.
Yep.
I went in a different direction only because this is my time off and I came in early. So I went with Wawinse the Wise Man from Foundation. So apologies to Tom Lazuka.
Just totally, he's going to cancel that. Good job.
Yeah, well, I'll smoke an 867 for the second segment. We'll line that up. Well, Stash, you're back again. This time you did not take a vacation.
No, I actually stayed in town for a couple weeks, and then I got sick this last week, so I'm getting over. Well, I'm over it now, but it was pretty rough Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
You know whose fault that is?
Yeah, Grimes.
It's the kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, this stuff has been running around here pretty bad, but having a great spring so far, man. It's been just unseasonably warm. We had a terrific, absolutely fantastic President's Day weekend.
Yep.
Stash was actually in a collared dress shirt. And did you actually have a suit jacket on too?
No, just collared dress shirt. But I had my big mafia trench coat on.
Yeah. If you've ever seen him in the shop, that's not what he normally looks like. Yeah. 3 times I had to run over to the bar because I thought I had an actual customer, and it was just fucking Stash.
It happens.
Yep. Yes, it does. Fun stuff coming up on here in just a little bit. We're going to do a quick smoke with a little bit later on. Of course, we got CLE in the house for St. Patrick's Day. Michael from Shiner Beer will be here as well, and we'll get more details on that. But now, without further ado, we would like to introduce to you the gentleman who will be playing here as part of his Cigars and Bars Acoustic Tour. Started on the West Coast, going to finish up over on the East Coast, a little bit down south, and stopping right here in the middle. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Sam Grow. Sam, how you doing today?
What's up, boys? How's it going?
Good. Thanks for getting up early on the West Coast and joining us. Did you have a gig last night?
I did.
All right.
Yeah, we played here last night in California or Oregon, Medford, Oregon.
Okay.
And cool little spot. Tonight we play in Portland. So had a little time in between, and happy I could jump on here with you guys and hang.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to Saturday night. Going to do some great tunes. And first I want to talk about how this whole thing came to be. My understanding from talking with your agency is that you actually reached out and said, hey, man, I've got this tour. I want to play Deadwood. Is there truth to that?
That is 100% true. Yeah, I follow you guys on social media. I'm a big Deadwood cigar guy. I have been since I started smoking, and y'all have been my favorite. And I was following you on Instagram, saw that you guys opened up a new spot with a little acoustic stage. So I called my agent, Kat, and was like, hey, while we're out cruising, if they're down to have me, I'd love to come. And she connected with y'all, and thankfully you guys wanted me to come and play. You could have completely shattered my dreams and love and been like, no, that guy sucks. We're not gonna have him. But luckily that didn't.
I did
luckily that didn't happen.
I did some research. I was like, okay, he plays some pretty good music. All right, well, I guess we'll let him.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
He's like, I don't even know this guy. I met him like 10 seconds ago. And he's all busting my chops.
Perfect.
Well, I still haven't even technically met you because right now in the video, all I can see is your guys' shoulders. But
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
There we go. Look, we're matching hats. I can do that. I can
exactly. So tell us a little bit about, since one of the things that drew you to Deadwood was the cigars. How did you get started smoking, and how long have you been a cigar smoker?
Actually, my starting to smoke story is kind of cool. My wife she grew up with brothers, and all of them smoke cigars. And we were having a songwriter festival in Florida, and my wife was like, you should try smoking some cigars with me. And I'd never really done it. And so she literally went to the cigar shop in Florida, found Deadwood cigars, and was like, smoke one of these. Oh. And I did, loved it, and have been absolutely hooked ever since.
His wife introduced him.
His wife,
yeah.
Fantastic.
My wife. Yeah, she's
sounds like a good girl, man.
Yeah. She's honest. Yeah, she's honestly the coolest chick in the world. She's my best friend, and
good deal.
And it's funny. She smokes like her palate's pretty, elite when it comes to cigars, and I take her to. Well, I don't anymore because she's pregnant now, but she was my smoking buddy forever. And I'd take her in this different cigar shops, and we have this one in Tennessee for the win, and I'd get cigars, and my wife would too. And then eventually the guy caught on that it was my wife that was smoking like the nicer cigars. Nice one. And so he came around the corner, and he was like, hey, man, I just want to let you know your wife smokes primo cigars. She has amazing taste. He said, you have shitty taste in cigars. He goes, but amazing taste in women.
Oh, there you go.
Good save.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, that's a bonus right there. Yeah. So are you headquartered out of the Nashville area?
Yeah. So I live in Manchester, Tennessee, which is about 50 minutes south of downtown Nashville. And I love it. Small town. It's actually where they have Bonnaroo every year.
Oh, really?
Is in Manchester. Yeah, but I live in a holler back on 18 acres, and it's my little slice of heaven, man.
Bringing back my days of living in West Virginia. A holler, you go over by the French Post and Old Red's place, you turn left, and then there's a holler with a crick.
There you go past 2 trailers, then
6 broke down cars on jacks. Yep,
That's right. That's right.
Speaking of that, I think it was during the pandemic where you did a YouTube series. Uh-oh. We lost him.
Yes, we did.
Technical difficulties. Oh,
yep,
you're
he's
back.
So sorry, guys.
No worries. Right. Yeah.
So you said the last thing I caught was during the pandemic.
Yep. You did a YouTube series back on your property, right?
Yeah, in the holler.
About that. Some of that stuff was, what'd you call that? It was pretty damn funny. They're just doing all kinds of day-to-day shit.
It was called In the Holler. I was just sitting around bored at the house, and one of the guys at the label was like, hey, what are you up to today? And I was like, just like everybody else, nothing. I was like, I think I'm going to build myself something in the backyard. And he goes, hey, wait to do it. I'm going to come over with some cameras. And so he just came over and, filmed me doing some random shit. And nice. I kind of drove him around and did some different stuff. But yeah, that was a pretty funny series. Bought a bunch of random stuff off of Amazon and, put it together and shop things,
Well, we know how that works out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So how did you get started into songwriting and singing? What's your discovery story?
So my discovery story was I'd been playing and touring about 250 days a year since I was 17 years old.
Wow.
And played all over the country. And one of the times my bass player, Gene, he got back to his house and decided, he was like, man, we have to try to do something to make this bigger. And he started emailing a bunch of producers in Tennessee and just cold emailing. He probably emailed like 50 different producers. And one hit him back. His name's Matt McClure, who produced Lee Brice and a couple other awesome artists. And he was like, hey, the next time you guys are in Nashville, just hit me up. I'm going to come see you. Well, Gene proceeded to book this like really shitty gig off 2nd Avenue. I think it was at literally Tuesday at 1 p.m. At this place called National Underground that doesn't even exist anymore on 2nd Ave. And he was like, cool, we got it booked. And so we're on our way down to the show. And Gene's like, you got to hit up this producer, let him know that we're doing the show. And I was like, Gene, he's not going to come. And he was like, he will. You got to text him. And so I literally started off the text saying, hey, man, I know you're not going to come to this, but we're playing at 1 o'clock at this random bar. And to my surprise, he came. And he brought his wife. And they loved the show. And he was like, hey, can you stick around? Oh, sorry. Sorry, man.
We're good.
It's oh, watch this. And I got a little towel here where I can slide it in between.
Gotta love my hotel room iPhone setups.
Oh, got it, boys.
I was watching. He starts going up and up and up, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah, you can see I've done this before.
Yeah, once or twice.
But yeah, him and his wife came, watched the show, and he was like, hey, can you stick around for a couple days? And so I told him that I could, and then he took me over to a publishing company. I played a song. They offered me a publishing deal on the spot. And then he took me over to another publishing company, and that one offered me a deal on the spot too. So I got into a little bidding war down there and signed with the company, and have been there since 2014. So this is my 10th year being in Tennessee as a songwriter and artist.
And what company was that?
It's a company called Olay, and now they're called Anthem.
Okay.
And it was going back and forth between them and another company called Curb. And the funny story is the head of Curb and the head of Olay hated each other, and Matt knew that, so he took me to the two people that hated each other to start a bidding war. I had the highest paying publishing deal in 2014 because Matt and his strategy of bringing me back and forth to people that hated each other. And I did that all without a lawyer because it happened within a couple days. So the negotiations and all that was just Matt and I. And luckily, Matt's a trustworthy person and was good to me in that thing. And then as the long form got written, I finally found a lawyer and made it happen. But it happened really, really fast for me.
Nice. And so how long have you been writing songs? You said you've been touring since 17. You start off as a kid writing, or is it something that developed in school?
Yeah. I probably wrote, I could never remember it, and I'm guaranteeing it's awful, but I think I wrote my first song when I was 12. Mm-hmm. It's just something that happened naturally for me. And I just fell in love with that whole process of writing real stories and all that. I grew up in Winfield, Kansas from 6 to 12. And they had this Walnut Valley Bluegrass Festival that came through every single year. And my dad would take me every year. And so I would watch these, Alison Krauss and Union Station, John McCutcheon, all these amazing country, writers and artists. And they would tell their stories and they would all be real. And I was just always fascinated, how they turn their real life into music.
Mm-hmm. Great. And then fast forward a few short years later, and 2019, Love and Whiskey is out, and unbelievable, number 1 on iTunes country albums chart without radio support. Tell us about how you organically got that to grow and how that changed your life.
Yeah, man, I just have the coolest support system in the world. I don't call them fans. I've never called them fans. Just because they support me and take care of me like family. So I have an amazing family of support that, I've created one person at a time. And whenever I put that record out, they all came together and bought that sucker. And
nice.
Lucky for me, it completely changed the game, and they continue to do that. I was never a radio chaser. That just wasn't something that was ever part of my goal, which is hilarious because my manager, Brad, he worked in radio for 31 years.
Yep.
And I met him because he was finding my music on YouTube and playing it. And and I got him to quit his job and be my manager. But it was just never my goal to kind of have the radio thing. I was leaning more into streaming and real handshake, finding those people who mess with your music and that support system. So it was just never part of my plan, but I was lucky that all worked out. The label surely was happy that it worked out that way. That's for sure.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Yeah.
Is that Average Joe's? Is that who you?
Yeah, Average Joe's.
Yep. Still with that. I know Colt Ford a little bit. I booked him for a few rally gigs, and that I looked through the lineup when I was doing a little research before our interview. Man, those guys have been Montgomery Gentry, Low Cash, just on and on and on. People with tremendous success. Do you see or hope for yourself to be next in line to come up and reach that level?
Man, I'm happy to be where I'm at. If I'm being completely honest with you, I'm getting to do music full time, and being able to do that full time for my entire life has been my only goal. So I'm happy every day and grateful every day that this is my job. So if it gets any bigger, great. If it doesn't, I'm completely okay with that too. And I'm huge fans of all of them. Obviously, Colt Ford being one of the biggest ones, not to mention he's just one of the sweetest guys alive. And everything that you see of Colt Ford online is exactly who he is in person and more. So I'm just grateful that he wanted to take a chance on me and bet on me. And I've tried to do my best to make sure that wasn't a bad bet.
And then when you're in Nashville, in the Nashville area, running through the music scene, running through the grinder, you've got the publishing deal. How do you find balance between your obligations to write for your publishing deal and write for other artists, or write to have songs that are available to other artists, and stuff that you keep for yourself? How do you differentiate the two?
For me, it's always been pretty easy. When I do write for other people and write for other artists, normally the other artist is in the room and I'm leaning in on them on what they want to say and what they don't want to say. Mm-hmm. So naturally it just becomes their story. Whereas if for me, I know exactly what I want to say and how I want to say it. So if I'm writing with somebody else, then, I just lean more towards how I would want to say things on stage. So it's never been a difficult thing for me. Also, I've just never been a quote unquote hit chaser.
Yep. Right.
Like if the song is great, and it fits me perfectly, then I will cut it. But I've never been like, oh, I got to battle for that song because I want the hit. I've just never been that guy. So even my buddies, I have a ton of them now that cut songs, and they're like, we want to cut this because it's a hit. And I'm like, go ahead and do it. I write, probably about 100 songs a year. So there's going to be another one in there that I can cut. You guys can
Sure.
please,
right?
please cut this so I can go make some more mailbox money. That'd be amazing.
Exactly. Speaking of not chasing the hits, but go ahead and brag on yourself a little bit. What are some of the ones that you've had come up? What are some of the ones that have helped pay the bills over the years? Who have you written for that you really enjoy? Yeah,
man. I honestly, I'm in that Colt Ford kind of world, and have been lucky to collaborate with a lot of those guys. I have songs with Colt. I have songs with a guy named Ryan Upchurch. I have a song with Adam Calhoun, a song with Demon Jones. I have songs with a ton of other, independent coming up artists as well. So yeah, just a good crew of people that trusted, my songwriting, and luckily it worked out. Otherwise, they wouldn't trust me anymore. but yeah, been super blessed to just kind of come up in that world. And then Colt also being as kind as he is, just going, hey, you should write with my buddy Sam, and then that leads one thing leads to another, and those writes turn out well. And then luckily for me, I've had some good songs myself that has been a game changer for me as well.
We have a festival up here in the fall that I'm going to talk to Brad and visit with you when you're here this weekend to hopefully get you guys involved in that. The Wild West Songwriters Festival going in our 11th year up here. It's always in October. And then when those guys come up, they've got some huge hit makers in there, of course, people that don't have to do a whole lot anymore. And then they've got a lot of people who are just starting out or just getting their first taste of a record or a cut on somebody's album. Tell us a story, if you would, either good, bad, or indifferent, about a co-write that you had that was either, you know, a wonderful experience or something that just you didn't mesh. You got one out there?
Oh yeah, I got two. I've got plenty. I got plenty of good songwriting experiences. My very first co-write ever in town was with Jason Seaver and Steve Bogard, and it got set up by one of my buddies, rest in peace. His name's Kyle Jacobs, who wrote More Than a Memory for Garth Brooks. He was the first guy to ever have a song go #1 the day that it came out. So an amazing songwriter. He wrote a ton of other hits too, and was super sweet to me. But set me up on that write, and he was like, "Hey man, just go in and write the song. Do not Google who these people are." and I was like, "Why?" And he goes, "Do not Google." And he said, "Do not Google. There's one person in particular in that room that you cannot Google because you'll choke." And I was like, okay. So I went in there and I wrote the song, and it got to be a really good song. And then me at the end, I'm talking to Steve Bogard, and we're just clicking. And he was like, "Man, it was a great co-write." He goes, "Kyle said you haven't done this much." And I said, "Well, this is my first one." And he was like, "Oh my God." He goes, "This is your very first co-write." He's like, "Amazing. Let's set up some more rights." And like, we did all stuff. He's a super nice guy. And he's a friend to me to this day. I get out of the write and Google Steve Bogard. And the first song that comes up is "Carrying Your Love with Me" by George Strait. He wrote that song. And then he also wrote "Get Carried Away." He's still one of my favorite people in the world, and we still write together to this day. But amazing experience, and in a room with a guy that could have been an absolute asshole if he wanted to be, to some punk kid that was in the room that didn't deserve to be in a room with him at all. But he wasn't. He was just always so gracious, and he still is to this day. Just the kindest soul. And then my worst experience I ever had was I was in a write with Dave Turnbull, who's an amazing songwriter and a really nice guy. He's from Virginia. And then some other dude. And as we were writing, so I lived in Maryland. I was born in Maryland and had lived there for a while. And I moved from Maryland to Tennessee. That was where I was when I transferred down to Tennessee. And as I was writing with this other dude, me and Dave, the guy was like, "I don't understand why we're writing country music with a Yankee anyway." And Dave Turnbull was like, "Well, why do you call him a Yankee?" And he's like, "Because he's from Maryland." And Dave said, "Well, where do you think I'm from?" And he said, "Virginia." He said, "Virginia." He said, "So you're in the South?" And Dave said, "Yeah, it's Arlington, Virginia." He said, "Sam lives in Mechanicsville, Maryland. He has to drive 2 hours north to get to Arlington, Virginia." He goes, if you could find a map and understand geography, you could find out that he's more southern than I am." And needless to say, that write got canceled. That it was not a good experience. And Dave was super kind and apologetic, and he was like, "Dude, we don't have to do this shit anymore. You can this guy's an asshole." So yeah, and that was my one and really only bad experience I ever had where I had to can it. But that was it.
And so please tell me that that asshole guy did not find success, right? He got his.
Oh yeah, I don't even know where he is anymore. To be honest.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
you can't treat people like that, man.
No, not at all. So let's talk about this current tour, the Cigars and Bars Acoustic Tour. Typically, when you have played in the past, you go with a full band. Is this your first excursion the long leg of doing the acoustic stuff? And how's that been different?
So this is the biggest tour I've ever been on. And I have done for the past 3 years, acoustic tours. That started because in 2020, when they weren't letting us kind of go and play shows publicly, me and my guitar player, we started this thing called Backyards and Bonfires, and we toured the country and played in people's backyards. And in 2020, we played 89 acoustic shows from California all the way back across to the East Coast. Put 100,000 miles on my then Chevy Silverado, and it was beautiful, and it still would be beautiful to this day if my guitar player didn't like to hit deer with it. But it was a awesome show, and now we do it every single year, and we have a waiting list to go and play in people's backyards. And then the people who don't ever get to make the show that are on the waiting list, they normally end up getting upset because they want to see us play the show acoustic.
Sure.
So we were like, cool, we're going to do open to the public acoustic shows too. So then the people can come out to those kind of things. And the first year we did it like heavier last year, turned out really, really well. So we were like, well, we're going to do it at the top of the year every year now. So last quarter we do Backyards and Bonfires. First quarter we do his acoustic tour. And we've been doing it for a while now. And honestly, I enjoy it so much. Me and my guitar player do. And then every summer is when we do the full band stuff. We get on the tour bus and we do the whole band thing, which is cool. Super expensive, but still very cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't get rich on that kind of stuff anymore.
No.
So with those full band tours in the summertime, what's been some of your best experiences, like either playing a big festival or on the bill with a big superstar? What's a good story from the road?
For us, man, so I have this place that I play every single year. It's in Southern Maryland. This place called the Tiki Bar. What makes it special, though, is the owner. His name's Rich Kater. He supported me ever since I was, 16 or 17 years old, and I couldn't sell one ticket.
Yep.
It was basically my mom and my sister that would come out and see me. And he had this other place called Union Jacks, and it was a massive room, and he'd have me play there, and just no one would come. But he never quit on me. And now every single year we go back in the summer, and I play his Tiki Bar spot in Southern Maryland, and it's packed. We sell a ton of tickets, but it's always cool for me because he's just one of those guys that stuck by me forever. So we always, hang and reminisce on the bus. And he's like, man, you remember when you guys used to have to come here in 5 different cars? And now he's like, now I'm filling your bus with your Prevo with ice. He's like, this is completely different. But it's cool to have those kind of people. And I'm blessed enough that I've met the kind of people that want to stay involved in your life and career. And so it's one of my favorites every single year. Plus my entire family comes out, and I love it.
Do you even let the Yankees come?
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah, Yankees are welcome. Oh yeah, country's countrywide, man. Brantley said it best, and it's true, man. Like we play up in New York all the time, and we'll drive through some of those places, and I'm like, man, these guys are way more hillbilly than anybody I met in Georgia, and it's true. It's a culture. That's why I've never even gotten into that thing, because we've been all over this country, and there's country folk everywhere.
Yep,
absolutely. Preacher, you got anything?
No, I'm just excited for Sam to make it out, man. It's going to be a great time.
Yep, absolutely. Stash?
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be phenomenal for you to come out and play here in Deadwood, and hopefully get a little bit of time to run around. I'm sort of the
we're saying
unofficial historian here. I'm on some commissions over here and stuff like that. It's fun to sort of tell people about what the real history of this place is and how it operates and everything else.
Well, you're going to have to roll with us, buddy. We're staying like a couple days after, just to take in Deadwood a little more. I love the old cowboy stuff. The last time we were there, I went and saw Wild Bill and Calamity Jane's gravesite, and we wanted to go into the bar where he got shot, but it was packed, so we couldn't get in there. Yeah. So we're excited to hang more and just and be in town. So if you got a list of stuff, we will go to all of it, because I love that shit.
Easy. I do a lot of metal detecting and stuff like that, so I know where all the little hidey holes are out here. So no problem, man. We'll get together and get out there a day or two, or a day at least, or half a day or something, or a couple hours even, and I'll show you some of the little hidey holes and neat little things you might not know about that you haven't seen on TV or something.
There you go. Yep.
Dude, I love it. We'll just hang out and chief some 867s, because I'm excited to try one of those.
Yeah, there you go.
Absolutely. Lazuka's
just
gonna
blowing
love that.
smoke.
Yeah. Perfect. We're looking forward to it this Saturday night. We've got the festivities kicking off around 5 o'clock. Lazuka will be here. We've got all the sizes of the Asylum in. It's going to be a great time. We got a little acoustic opener in front of Sam, and then it's just you and a guitar player, right? Up there for a little over an hour, sharing stories, sharing songs, that kind of thing.
That's right, man.
All right. We'll have a couple of cold beers, relax, and we appreciate you taking some time early in the morning. Travel safe, enjoy Oregon and the way out here, and we're looking forward to a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And tell Brad we appreciate everything he's done on his side. He's a hard-working dude, man. He's on top of stuff.
He is, man. He's one of my best friends, and honestly, one of my first believers, man. He literally was stealing my music off of YouTube when I wouldn't answer his phone call so he could play me on radio. So he's a hustler, but mainly just a hustler for me. He's family for sure.
And he's going to be here as well, so we'll go paint the town.
Oh yeah, he would never miss this. 100% going to be there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, Sam Grow, everybody check him out. Official Sam Grow is the website. You'll follow all the links to his socials on there as well. Grab the new album, Avalon Avenue, came out in January, and make sure you check out his whole catalog. And we're going to be looking forward to hearing some of those tunes here this weekend. And I think that's just about it. So
heck yeah.
Thanks again, and enjoy the time out there, and we'll see you in a few days.
Thanks for having me, boys. I appreciate you.
All righty.
Sam Grow, everybody. Coming up, Blowin' Smoke Podcast. The second segment's going to feature our good buddy Tom Lazuka, if he can fix his internet problems. You know what happens when you get to a certain age, Stash.
Yeah, I know a lot about things.
I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about not knowing how to work his iPhone. If we can get him dialed in, he'll be up in just a little bit. But first, enjoy this from the preacher. This is DTC Blowin' Smoke Podcast. I am Eye Candy Randy. That is Stash and Ethan, the preacher behind the board. Tom Lazuka coming up in just a few. Hello and welcome back to episode number 49, DTC Blowin' Smoke Podcast. Thanks very much to Sam Grow for calling in all the way out in Oregon, I think he was, on his way here for the big show this weekend. Our special guest for an even more special evening, and it's special for a lot of reasons. We'll get all into the details coming up with co-founder of Asylum Cigars, good friend of Deadwood Tobacco Company, and retired mall Santa, Tom Lazuka. Welcome, Tom.
Hey, buddy.
Listen, what's happening, fellas? How you doing, Randy? How you doing, Billy?
Good. How's the technical issues? We got it figured out. You're in Memphis, you said?
Yes, sir. Just hitting the road also before I make my way to Deadwood.
That sounds like a plan. Well, it's been a while since we saw you. We missed you for an event. You had a little something going on. How you feeling?
Feeling good, man. Just like I said, ready to hit the road hard and get ready to launch this 867 project.
we've been excited and waiting for it for a long time, and we're happy to finally have the opportunity to get it out in our customers' hands. All 9 Vitolas, all the fun, different shapes that you've been looking forward to. But before we get to the specifics of this weekend, let's go back a little ways. And can you and Bill kind of just talk about the evolution of the Asylum 867s?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Billy, you want to start it off, or you want me to start it off?
Tom, I'll have questions for you, so you go ahead and start it off.
Well, listen, I mean, the relationship with Bill goes way back to Maumee, Ohio, many years ago, and in another life. And, I was Camacho. Bill was working at Cigar Fair, and, we fast forward 20 years now, and we have Asylum, and Billy has Deadwood Tobacco Company. And so, when Bill bought the store, we had thought about a project and doing the original name, which was different, which we won't mention. But, we came up with this idea, and I said, all right, Bill, well, you guys come down to Honduras and make it. So they flew down, and Ethan and the crew and Billy flew down and worked with our staff there in Honduras on developing the 867 brand. The not original name, but that's what it is today, right? So obviously we launched the cigars, the Deadwood brand in Deadwood, and it went extremely well, as you guys know. And now that we're with some things happening in the meantime, we've changed the name to 867, but now we're getting ready, and it pushed it back like 9 months, the national launch. But here we are, the product's in the U.S., and now we're ready to go full bore and launch this brand.
I'm interested to know a little bit about Preacher and Bill, about the trip to Honduras, and about, without giving away your trade secrets and the steeping process that gets the aromatics in there, tell us a little bit about the actual blending and how you guys came up with this cigar.
They put me in this little closet and gave me tobacco, and they said, good luck with this brown liquid, and hope you can create something.
Yep.
So after about 3.5 days of trying wet cigars with all this steeping process on there and sweetener and trying to get that right, I had a big pile of spit outside that door that created a dome. I went through chemical taste to sugar taste to...
This was an episode of Breaking Bad.
Yeah, it was. It looked like Whitney Houston's bathroom when I got done with it. And, we went down there. We had an idea of what we wanted to present as far as the name, the look, and their marketing department had an idea too, but they liked ours. We went with it. It was simpler, color schemed. It was Deadwood Tobacco Company Chasing the Dragon. Due to the litigation rights going on right now, that's all I'll say about that. And I lost out in the project, but we still get credit for blending it. So after all of that, what we wanted to do with the project was to create healthcare for the team. So I'll find a different avenue, a different pathway, since this one took a drastic turn. And it had to. I'm out of the picture. That's just the way it is. But the relationship is strong, and they're going to allow us to do something else down the road, possibly.
And Tom, were you down there for this part, or were you not a part of the blending? And
Nope. I was in the States. We just turned it over to those guys and let them come up with what they came up with.
So Preacher, what was your role in the thing? You and Bill working hand in hand in your little hazmat suits, or what was your part?
You guys, this was a crazy kind of tour de force. We were in Vegas. The idea came up. We had to rush the whole process. We ended the trip to Vegas. We got on the Arroyo Express. We flew down to Honduras. They dropped me off. Bill went to work in the chemical studio, and I and their marketing guy, man, we went to the box factory, and they're like, dude, do you have your designs ready? I'm like, I mean, kind of. We were sketching stuff up on the plane, and then we screen printed and came up with the colors, boxes, and design that day. I mean, it was that fast. It was crazy.
And it turned out to be quite the project, as Big Tom alluded to. There was a previous incarnation of this, and it sold like wildfire. Without giving away trade secrets, Tom, can you tell us a little bit about how this 867s have been received?
Yeah, man. I think the whole idea of this was to create something a little different, and this cigar is meant to be a cigar first. And we have the steeping process that adds some of that flavor in different notes to it. We put the sweet cap on it, but it's still a regular cigar first. We're using some specific tobaccos in this blend that we don't reveal, but to get the flavors that we want. And it really came out as a nice subtle cigar in the sense that it's got body to it, but it also gives you that sweetness. It gives you the different flavors from the steeping process. And, the initial launch, again, it didn't come in until really right before Christmas. So, it's only been in the marketplace for a couple months now. And in a sense, and we only shipped partial shipments. And now that we have the rest coming in and we can get going full bore with it,
Speaking of partial shipments, how were you? What were your thoughts about the ordering, and was it a product that a lot of retailers were interested in picking up?
Yeah, I think definitely. This segment of the market is really open. There's not a lot of people doing it, and I think that the Deadwood brand, doing it with Bill in the store, brought a lot of attention to it, and we hope we can carry that attention with under the Asylum name until whatever litigation gets worked out. But we're doing this under the Asylum name now, and I think our customers have responded very well to it. The initial launch is it's doing well, so we hope, like I said, we got the early trade show in March this year, so we hope to get it in a lot of people's hands in a lot more locations in the coming few months.
And speaking of the Asylum part, parent company CLE Arroyo, what was the driving force to place this product under the Asylum, a company that's known for risk-taking? Obviously, the large ring gauges is something you're famous for. How does this product fit in with the rest of your portfolio?
Well, listen, I think it fits in fantastic with Asylum because Asylum gives us where Aroa and CLE are more traditional, obviously. Christian is definitely more in the traditional sizes and blending, where, Asylum, obviously, we're known for big ring gauges and thinking out of the box. So I think it was a perfect fit and addition for the Asylum brand.
And we've been enjoying it right now. I'm having the Robusto Zero. Ethan, what did you pick up?
I picked up the Auntie Petite Corona, the really small one.
And Bill, before we had the technical issues, you had?
An Auntie that I already burnt through and tasted the fine, subtle notes of apple and apricots. It was amazing.
And my first impression, because this is the first we've had of this particular product, when I fired it up and just toasted the foot of it, my first draw immediately, and I mean this in the best possible way, was a flashback, and I was like, you know what? That's Lucky Charms. I got immediate toastiness,
totally.
Toastiness, oatiness, and a little bit of fruitiness, and I was like, that's delicious. It's a pleasant surprise because it had been a while since I've had one.
Yeah, it's been unfortunate that we've had the gap, but now now they're there, man. Now we can do what it's supposed to do,
Absolutely. And you're going to be with us this Saturday night. We just received a bunch of packages from you guys. Some of that obviously is for an event a couple weeks from now, St. Patrick's as well. And Big Tom is coming to the shop. It'll be the second time you've been here, right?
Well, I've been there many times throughout the years, but
to the new place, yeah.
Yeah. So I was out there for St. Patrick's Day last year, and obviously I had a few bumps in the road with my health issues in the this past summer. So, but we pushed past all that, and so I look forward to getting back out for rally again.
Absolutely. And what are you bringing with you, and what are you looking forward to doing with Sam Grow on Saturday night? What's your hope when you introduce this product to our customers here at DTC?
Listen, our hope is just to create some excitement and let people have an enjoyable evening of some great country music, and get to enjoy what Deadwood's all about. The brand, and Bill, the brand of Deadwood has always been trying to create something new and different, and I think we've done that very well with this product, and I think the combination with Sam and having music and just launching it at Deadwood is the only way to do it,
And have you noticed with the 9 different Vitolas now, obviously the Midnight Oil come in the larger ring gauges that we spoke about earlier with being synonymous with Asylum, but also some of the smaller ones, the Petite Corona and things like that. You've really got a wide smorgasbord for people to enjoy this product. How did you come up with that idea? And was it something that you had from day one? Because originally we had the 3 traditional sizes, and now we're expanding all over the place, Lanceros to 7x70s.
Yeah, because we want something for everybody, right? So the big ring gauge smoker wants something in this realm. It wasn't available to them, so now we're able to provide some of the bigger ring gauge stuff with the Midnight Oil, and a different experience with the 54x6, 60x6, 70x7. We get into some traditional shapes with the Zero, with the Churchill, the Toro, and the Robusto. And then for some real traditionalists with the Corona, Petite Corona, and like Lancero with the Auntie. So I think, we have a size for everybody.
Yep, absolutely, and we're looking forward to it. I know Sam Grow is a big cigar smoker. When he first approached us about 9 months ago, he was a big fan of a particular brand that we carry on occasion, but not our favorite brand. And so we're looking to introduce these to him and have him be an ambassador for both the Deadwood Tobacco and the Asylum as he travels across the country on this tour. You've sat in on some phone calls with Sam and his agent, and we're excited about the partnership. Can you talk a little bit about your hopes for that?
No hope.
Yeah, man. Our what'd you say, Billy?
No hope.
No, listen, I mean, obviously, Sam's had great exposure through social media and internet, and we hope that when we bring the 2 passions together of music and cigars, that we can reach, the whole idea is to reach a whole new group of people who might not have enjoyed cigars before, and this gives them an opportunity to come in with something that is non-traditional. It is the taste is great, and hopefully it can bring them into the cigar smoking side, and hopefully some of our cigar smokers can maybe listen to some music and enjoy Sam's music, and who maybe haven't heard him before. So the whole idea is to draw people into both of our companies and brands together.
I think it's going to be a wonderful event. Tentatively, we're going to kick the whole thing off about 5 o'clock. We're going to do a smoke and greet with Sam and some of his fans. He'll hang out and have some 867s and relax, and then the music will start shortly thereafter. We'll have a regional acoustic opener, and then the Cigars and Bars Acoustic National Tour with Sam Grow is going to kick off about 8:30, 9 o'clock. We've got boxes coming out the humidor. We've got single sticks. We've got all the shapes and sizes. It's going to be a wonderful event, and it's good to have Tom back in the shop. And we're looking forward to a fun evening and weekend. And then you coming in early to party at the Casa de Rechtenwald?
I will be there Friday. Yes, sir.
After his dinner event.
That's
but before. The dinner is on Monday.
Oh. So you're staying Friday,
Yeah.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday?
Yeah, so Sunday morning I'll drive to Gillette to do the dinner at Cigar Box,
Yeah.
and then fly out Tuesday morning. So I got to do an event at Burn in Atlanta on Thursday. So I'll be coming from Atlanta Friday to kick off the festivities at Casa de Bill. And
tequila.
And listen, I don't drink much anymore, so
Good.
I'm a cheap date, Bill.
No problem. We got hams.
Perfect. Ethan, anything for Tom? I've got a few more before we head out.
No, just excited. I am pleased to see Asylum take this on and extend the distribution. So it's a great product. I'm just glad that it's out for more people to enjoy.
Absolutely. Bill? Closing arguments, as if we were in court.
There's a lot I'd like to say, but I shall not in case it bites me in the butt. But the fact is, sometimes dreams have to live on with somebody else. And unfortunately, that's what you got to do, is let the dream live on. So that's what it's going to. And Asylum 867 allows the dream to keep going, the creative side of the team to keep getting inspired. And by no means are we going to slow down and stop.
No, not at all. Looking forward to always having the 867s in the humidor. Soon they'll be online as well as we take this project, this passion project of Bill and the team, Ethan and Tom and the entire CLE Arroyo Asylum crew as far as we possibly can. Going to be a great Saturday. Big Tom's going to be in the house having a big party with Sam Grow. And then after that, we've got Michelle's coming back from CLE for St. Patrick's Day with our good buddy Maxwell from Shiner Beer, of course. Tom, anything you want to let out the bag for that? I'm assuming you won't be back that quick, but fast forward a little bit to St. Pat's. Anything new and exciting? I believe there's rumors of a double suite.
Well, you never know. I'm left out of most of these things these days. I just hear the rumors. So I'm the same as you, Randy. I hear rumors, but we usually don't go into St. Patrick's Day with an empty bag. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, absolutely. And we'll fill that sucker up when you come in and visit us. So make sure you swing by this Saturday night. Saturday only. Now the product is in the shop, so if you want to come a little bit early, well, we're certainly not going to tell you can't buy it, but come out for that date specifically. We'll have a lot of press here. We'll have a lot of goodies to give away. It's going to be a wonderful time. Sam Grow on stage, Tom in the humidor, the entire DTC team will be hanging out. And then we're moving on after that to our 50th podcast, 50, which we will be recording and streaming live on YouTube on March 6th from the venue at 715 Main Street inside Deadwood Tobacco Company.
By the way, what's the radio station they can listen to? Because we're advertising on the radio, too, for this event.
Eagle Country will be featuring advertisements for the event and Sam Grow, and I believe X-Rock will have some as well. So we've got the entire hills covered with that. Going to be a big event. We're looking forward to basically kicking off. I don't know if you've noticed, Tom, you haven't been around, but it's been about 50 degrees here for a few weeks, and we got spring fever pretty bad.
Yep.
Well, listen, man, I hope it stays that way. So I'm not driving. I've driven through Deadwood when there's been 50 inches of snow in one day. So you might have me for a guest a little longer if we get that late winter storm,
That's okay.
Absolutely. Thanks again to Big Tom Lazuka. I didn't get to ask him about the 20-minute Toms, but I will bring that up when he's here in town. And coming up on all the fun stuff here at Deadwood Tobacco Company, of course, Sam Grow will be here Saturday night. That's the entire reason we've got the Asylum Party, to have a great time with him. We're going to follow that up with a live episode 50 of the DTC Blow and Smoke podcast, streaming live on YouTube on the 6th. Not our normal day, but it'll be up forever after that. So we'll be inviting our special guests, our regulars, our friends and family, and those that enjoy a good smoke and a Shiner beer to come join us as we get ready for that episode. Followed by St. Patrick's weekend, of course. Granite Sun will be on stage playing all your favorite hits while we have the pub crawl. We don't do the green beer around here just because we don't want to clean up green puke. Although the kid is collecting colors, so he probably still needs that one. And then following that, the next podcast, episode 51, Our first segment will be featuring some of the lovely ladies from the Buffalo Chip Poster Model Contest. We hope to have previous winners in the studio sharing their experience. And of course, we'll be hosting that event here on the 30th of March. Sign-ups start about 8 o'clock for that. More details to come soon. And the lovely ladies get up on stage in streetwear. There's no bikinis or anything that night. This is just the very first preliminary style. And talk about the chip and music and cigars and delicious twisted tea sponsoring that event. We're happy to have the first Buffalo Chip Poster Model event in Deadwood Tobacco Company this year, so make sure you put that on your calendars for the 30th, and a bunch more content coming your way very, very soon this spring. We're getting into busy season. The humidor is going to be fully stocked with all your favorites. The trade show is coming up. The kid gets to go to Vegas without supervision because he's going with Wild Bill.
Exactly.
So that is definitely without supervision. Who's going to be in charge there? I mean, technically Bill's in charge. But we've all been to Vegas with Bill for conventions. What do you think, Ethan?
I mean, it's going to be an interesting story.
It will.
Yeah.
And it's the kid's first time in Vegas.
Oh.
Obviously, first time since he's been old enough to gamble. And we've got all that here in Deadwood anyway. So be looking for his report when he gets back, and a whole bunch more content coming your way. A busy summer lined up at the venue inside 715 Main Street at Deadwood Tobacco Company. We're working on some hard-hitting blues. We're looking at Hector Achando coming back to Deadwood from Omaha. We've got some Kansas City and some Texas players on the way. And of course, we'll branch out every now and then, try some new genres on stage. Pay attention to all the social media at Deadwood Tobacco. You can find all of the details there. Like, subscribe, comment, share, do all that fun stuff. And we look forward to seeing you next time. That's it. Episode 49, DTC Blow and Smoke Podcast. See ya.